said was to move to, let me bring up my browser here. My final step would be then to copy that NC file to my flash drive, walk downstairs, boot up the Ubuntu machine, load it up, and go. And that's the part I can't demonstrate live, but I'll show you on a...
Can you go back to the CAM program for a second?
Sure.
You had the cutouts of where they had the tire treads and the diagonal lines and things like that. How's it know not to...
Oh, because I never gave it an operation.
Okay.
So let me open up that DXF again.
Yeah, you had only gotten so far to do the 4 script, but once you get to that point...
Right. So I could...
That's...
I got to join my lines again. Hang on. I can pick what...
on the big screen.
You gotta drag it.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, you're right. Looking at the wrong thing there. There we go. All right. Let me just join up everything real quick. Select all. Let's take those out again. Might as well. Okay. So what Jay's asking is, or who is it, Josh?
Josh.
Oh, okay. I heard
I
the
had
voice
the
over
same
here.
question, but I mean, he asked
Okay.
first.
So we convert to polylines and we join them up. 0.01 tolerance. Okay. All right. So now I can pick what things I want to put into this operation, right? What I should have done in the CAD program was taken all these hash marks out because they're not important to the part. You know, I should have just went through and made it look like this one. So I would just select that and then do the 2D profile and tell it how many steps to take and cut that out. Okay? But if I make a mistake and leave something in, like I left the construction lines, and I can take them out. So I could go through and take these lines out if I wanted to here. You can do some limited editing of your document in Kanban. You can't create your document in Kanban. Another cool feature, they throw some fun things in, I might as well show you, where we can do a, here we go, insert, list.
Does Kanban have its own format? Like, you saved it directly to G-code and it looked like you can't open the G-code, right? Like Kanban, or can you?
No, you can't. I mean, I suppose you could import the, I've never done
Does
that.
it have like an intermediate format so you can save it like that?
Yeah, there's a Kanban format.
Okay.
Right, so let me show you here. Let's just do, well, here, I'll show you. Let's do File, Save, and I'm going to save it as a Kanban format. Once again, I can change the extension to whatever I want, but the Kanban format.
Can you click that Save As type and see what options there are?
You just got the one.
Okay.
In the freeware. In the paid for, there might be more options.
Okay.
So then I save. So then, yes, now you can see, actually I have a fourth file. Put it up here. Now I can't see that very well. Anyway, it says base DXF, but it's a Kanban file. So I got my ViaCAD, my Kanban, or ViaCAD to DXF, Kanban, and then finally the NC, the G-code file. Okay. So then I could come back to this and say, that operation I just did, that 0.1 increment, snapped off my bit. So I can go back here then, open this up, make a change. And I've done this many times. I can say, oh, that operation there was wrong. I want to change that to 0.05 depth increment. So I can go back and change the operations, resave it again as a G-code, and then back downstairs.
So you want to start all over.
The what?
So you want to start all over.
Right. You're going to start the whole thing over. No. So you got that. So then let's look at a screenshot for. Where did I put those? There we go. So what I see when I go downstairs, and let's do. Is that full screen? We'll do full screen on this thing. Okay, I'll leave it like that. So what I see when I go downstairs is the control screen for Linux CNC, or EMC as it's called, where it shows me my part. It shows me the current location of the cutting head. That's what this circle is. And then it shows me it running through all the G-code. And this will just fly by at light speed. It's like every little micro step it takes is a line of G-code. So you'll see that just flying by. And then you'll see in real time the tool moving on the screen. What you also see that you can't see here is, you'll see paths of where it's going next. So you'll see that it's cutting, and you'll see, okay, next it's going to go to the upper right. So if you've got a clamp or something there, you can stop it, move the clamp, things like that. So it shows you where it's at, where it's going, and then it'll even tell you how long it'll take to complete the part. So it knows, like, based on how many lines it has to do and what distance it has to travel, it'll say, okay, it's going to take 32 minutes to cut this out, or however long it takes, 10 seconds, whatever the time is. So, like I said, unfortunately I couldn't bring my machine in and show you that, but that's really all it is. So you just do like a file, open the NC file. I have to bring my cutter head to a certain point and say home. So that's my origin point, right? Remember we talked about that earlier. I have to home it at the origin point, and then I just come up here and click the play button, and off it goes. And then hopefully remember to turn the cutter head on, because otherwise it'll snap it off again too. So really, that's it. So this is probably the simplest part of it. Once it's all set up, file open, play, home and then play. Warren?
This has a preview thing, so we can see the tool head moving here, couldn't we?
Yeah, I can't now. I don't have Linux on my laptop. But if I was downstairs at home,
right,
I could say, I could turn the machine off by hitting this, but then still play the file, watch it step through everything. If you're real paranoid, say you're cutting a piece of really nice wood or something, you would do like a dry run first off on the screen, then you would home your axis way up, and then let it run through and cut the air, make sure there's no errors, and then here's this nice piece of whatever oak or whatever, then finally home it and cut it for real. But most of the stuff I do, the hardwood, if it makes a mistake, I just throw it away and start again on another one. So,
Mike?
yeah.
The original VCAD program that you use, how does it know the dimensions of your machine? Is that something you put in and it gives you that, it tells you you're out of your toolpath?
No, what I have to do is I know that my machine is 12 inches, my base is 12 inches by 12 inches, what I can cut on my machine. So when I drew this circle that was 6 1/4 inches in diameter, I knew they would fit. But also, again, to kind of go along with the construction lines, sometimes I'll just draw a square that is 12 inches by 12 inches to remind myself, okay, here's the room I have. So if I want to take, so for example, I was wanting to do
Two of them.
2 of these. I could say, edit, copy, paste, and I could see if it would fit. And I'd say, oh, no problem, fits with no problem. And if I really wanted to save material, I could put some smaller things in here, maybe a little bracket or something, put that up in there, and use up the wood that way. So yeah, the ViaCAD has no idea what my CAD
So
machine.
basically it just starts off with like the center or home position and it just expandable as
The
as
origin,
you want
right?
to go.
Yeah, yeah. I guess theoretically say something was 100 feet wide or something. You could use this to do some limited architectural stuff.
I was just curious.
Yeah, that's why you always got to keep that origin point in mind. And where does that translate to in Kanban? Where does that translate to on your physical machine? Where's your origin point? Because if you lose track of that, suddenly, like I said, it'll be zooming over to the left, and you won't know why, and you'll be scratching your, pulling your hair out. And so it's kind of a learning process, but it's not that bad. And then once you master or get pretty decent with the ViaCAD, then it's just up to your imagination. I do a lot of things that are slotted, so this takes a little time to kind of get used to. Like even though it might be a 1/4 inch material, when I cut that slot, it needs to be slightly less than a 1/4 inch. So when the tool goes in, it still fits relatively snugly. So there's a little experimentation and stuff to do there. So you can start designing, even with no bolts or anything, you can start designing 3D pieces, and you can kind of take it whatever direction you want to go.
You probably make it in cardboard first.
You
And
could.
then, measure it and then cut it out in wood.
Yeah. Like I said, there's always a slight variation. Even if you get a sheet of this 4x8 from Lowe's and go back a week later, it's going to be slightly off. For building a wall, no one's ever going to know. But with your calipers, it might be like just a thousandth of an inch off. And then your part suddenly that was really tight now is a little loose. So you always got to kind of remeasure the wood that you get, and it's just like I said, just a little bit of a
Just keep
process.
a filer end.
The what?
Just keep a filer end. Doesn't.
Yeah, there you go, or a big hammer, yeah, I've done that too. So, and then you can see the examples, some of the things I've done. I'll pass these around. I made a cribbage board. My wife likes to play cribbage. So this is not a fancy piece of wood at all, just pine. But I went ahead and did what are called pocketing operations, to where I'm not cutting all the way through, I'm cutting out like this pocket. So we can put a deck of cards there and then put the little peg things in there. So you can do some 3D things, but not in the way that Adam does it, not in the like 3D curves and all that kind of stuff. So, and then obviously doing a bunch of repetitive holes and stuff, so you can pass that around.
You finish this yourself?
Yeah, it's not that great.
Isn't bad.
Yes, I was learning how to use polyurethane. So this one here was originally 3 pieces. You'd like stick it together, and then you could undo it and travel with it, or take it with you. But I said, well, I'll just glue it. So I just glued it shut. So there's a center piece and then 2 sides here. Same deal. There's some pocketing. There's some holes that are drilled, so they're not drilled all the way through. So this actually takes quite a while to do because it has to go down and then around, and then down a bit again, around, to make this hole. So it takes about 10 or 15 seconds per hole because it has to go down however many steps you take. So, but it's worth it though. It makes a nice little look to it. And then once again, this is just a cheap, and this stuff is like $4 a board at Home Depot because it has all these knots and streaks and stuff in it. I think it looks cool. When you stain it, it looks real nice. So. And believe it or not, I started making those to put on this website called Etsy. And 2 Christmases ago, when I was really devoted to it, I was selling like 40 or 50 of those a month for like $30 a piece. And I'm just downstairs having fun with my CNC machine, So that was kind of fun.
Oh.
Because we had a little extra money for that Christmas, so that was nice. So you can actually think of ways to go on.
So you almost paid for your machine.
Almost. Yeah, my total package price, not counting the little PC which I had, just an old Pentium 2 or whatever, was about $600. For the kit, for the stepper motors, for the power supply, for all the little bits and pieces you need, it was about $600.
Do you have to do a lot of sanding to finish this, or?
Not a whole lot. Just I don't do like super duper furniture grade. I just sand it with like medium and then a little bit of fine and then put a little polyurethane on it and call it done.
People probably thought it was like handcrafted,
Well, there's other people on that website that sell similar things. They use CNC machines. It's okay. It doesn't have to be all chisel or anything.
Can you show us the plans for your CNC machine?
Once I was
Go ahead, David.